Hey, it's me, Vicki Marie. Now, I'm sorry I'm not on camera tonight. I know some of you like to see me. I don't understand really why you like to see me, but I know you do. But yeah, I've not been very well today, so I'm a little bit poorly. Nothing mega, just I don't know if I'm coming down with a cold or then somebody, one of my friends said to me, "Oh, I hope it's not COVID." I thought, oh God, I hadn't even thought that it might be COVID until they said that. But I just woke up this morning feeling like headache and a little bit shivery, and my throat was funny, and Anyway, so I'm hoping that it's not COVID or anything. Mega had a headache, and so I'm really whinging, aren't I? So sorry to come on whinging, but just wanted to explain to you why I'm not on the camera. So I just could not, I'm in my pajamas, I've got my dressing gown on. The weather has sort of been really changeable here, and I think that's perhaps, sometimes you start thinking it's summer too early and you don't dress appropriately, and then you catch like a cold, don't you, and that. So that's what I'm hoping it is, just a cold. Anyway, first thing I just want to do, thank everybody as usual for liking, for subscribing. My subscribers are growing, which is brilliant, just gradually creeping up, and that's great. Thank you so much. If you're not subscribed, please think about subscribing, because it's free and it really helps my channel out. And also liking my video or not liking my video, any interaction is good. And of course, a special thanks as always to my members, as they really help support my channel. Think about being a member. If you're not a member, it's only $1.99 a month. It's cancelable anytime. And on a Thursday night, we have a members live. And also it means you'll be able to use the special members emojis. That I need 5 more members to get some more, to be able to use some more emojis. So that's why I'm pushing membership a little bit. Anyway, it's up to you. Obviously, I'm just telling you about it, and hopefully people will join. Also, thank you to anyone who's bought me a Ko-fi, sent me a super, PayPal'd me. Lots of ways people support my channel, even by emailing. But of course, the best way, as always, is to watch the videos, to subscribe, to like. The best free way of helping out my channel. That is the best way. Okay, so I can hear my voice creaking a little bit. It's talking as well, because of course I've had classes today, and I was thinking maybe, how a lot of singers, they insure their voice. I was thinking maybe I should insure mine, because I'd be struggling to make videos without a voice, wouldn't I? I'm struggling to be a Spanish teacher without a voice. For those of you who don't know, I'm also a Spanish teacher. Anyway, okay, so now I've finished whinging about me being ill. I'm lighting a candle. So I know you can't see it, but I am lighting a candle. And today's candle is for Sebastian. I've been thinking about Sebastian a lot today, because obviously preparing this live. But not only that, just thinking about the whole the whole situation, like just how awful it is. No, because it's been over 50 days. And I was just thinking about it, how awful it must be for the family. What, of course, it's been, it's one of those sort of, those cases where there've been some twists and turns, but the only twist and turn we haven't had, here he is. This is who the video's about. This is all that matters. Sebastian Rogers disappeared. 15 years old. High functioning autistic, according to his parents. But he's quite independent, I think a lot of people have been trying to feel very positive about Sebastian today, because we don't know that any harm has befallen Sebastian. It's not good, obviously, when a 15-year-old boy disappears for 50 days. You think, well, where can he be? You know, where can he possibly be? Who's feeding? What's he eating? Where's he sleeping? Because he didn't have things with him. You know, he didn't even have his shoes with him, to all intents and purposes. So where can he be? You know, so it's hard to stay positive. But, you know, after watching these interviews today, etc., I was thinking, you know, we have to stay positive. Same as his parents, you know, like Seth was saying, he has to think, you know, that he is going to bring his son home. You have to think like that. Until you know any different, you have to think like that. And it must be very depressing for him to see sidekicks talking about him not being alive, and, you know, people speculating about him, you know, not being with us anymore. But we have no proof that he isn't with us anymore. It's not being treated as that sort of case by the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. So we can only live in the moment, where we are now, you know, whatever dark thoughts we might have, which I'm sure come into Seth's mind and his mum's mind and his stepfather's mind and all. I'm sure those dark thoughts come into their minds, but you have to push them away until you know anything. So, his little face. Anyway, so another thing that came, let me just say hello to everybody first. That might be a good idea, because otherwise I'm going to get into this and I won't say hello. I'll just say hello to people. And then as the video goes on, I probably won't get a chance to say hello to people coming in. So hi Chumba, hi Rio. I hope you're okay, Rio. Are you okay? Hi Tracy, hi Tina, hi David, hi DMV. Hope your mouth's feeling all right. You've been to the dentist. I just saw your email. Where are we? Hi Maria. Yeah, I really like the burning hell emoji. That came in handy today when we were talking about one of those family annihilators. Hi Amethyst. Hi Charlie. Yeah, thank you, Tina. I hope I feel better. So I hate being ill. I mean, nobody likes being ill, though some people do wallow in it, don't they? But I'm the worst patient you can imagine. I just refuse to be ill, but then it's not a good thing. Sometimes you have to give in to things a little bit. Hi, Katrina. I'm not good at resting up, you know, and I'm just rubbish at that. Hi, Amanda Jane. Oh, you're not well, Rio. Have you got a cold or COVID or flu or something? I hope this isn't going to get sort of like serious. So Rio's on antibiotics. Ooh, steroids. Oh my goodness. Dear me. Oh, Tracy. Tracy was nearly a grandma yesterday, but it was a false alarm. Bless. Bless, bless, bless. Okay, so what I was thinking I was going to do, because, you know, I didn't come onto this case for a little while after it had started, because there was the Samantha Murphy case that I was covering, which again is still quiet. No news with the Samantha Murphy case. And I want to say hello to everybody who's watching at home as well, because not everybody joins in the not everybody likes to join in the chat. I know a lot of you just like to watch at home. So hi, anyone who's watching at home. I just literally waved at the camera and I forgot I haven't even got the camera on. Anyway, never mind. I'm waving at you. Yeah. So yeah, came into this case late. So there's quite a few interviews right from the beginning that I missed. That's what we're going to look at tonight. The interviews of Katie Proudfoot and Chris Proudfoot, who I know a lot of people don't like, or, you know, sort of think that they know something more than they know, but nobody has been declared a suspect yet. We have to remember that. And, you know, to all intents and purposes, you know, this is Sebastian's mum and his stepdad. And, you know, we don't know that they're hiding anything or not, as much as people might sort of feel that there is no proof. Then, of course, we've seen quite a lot of interviews. So I missed a lot of their interviews because most of their interviews were done at the beginning, and then they got slated. I personally think they got slated so much. That's why they stopped doing interviews or stopped, because, and of course, people were saying that they hadn't been out searching and stuff like that. But of course, they were reviled. I mean, it's difficult to go out searching when you think people are going to come up and have a go at you. Or, we saw that guy that was walking up and down the road with a bloody placard and a T-shirt saying "Repent, Chris Proudfoot," and all that. I mean, what was that all about? If you've got no proof, it's not really a good thing to do anyway, in my eyes. So I missed a lot of their interviews, and then of course I've seen quite a lot of Seth's interviews. So for people who don't know, Sebastian is a 15-year-old boy who just disappeared from his house. He was there. This is the story that the mum tells us, that he was there at the house the day before, and when she got up the following morning, he was gone. That's all we know, and there is no, as far as I know, there's no proof, no CCTV, there's no evidence of where he went, although the police did say that there were footprints. We heard the police saying that they saw footprints, and bear in mind he had no shoes on, supposedly. So it's all very strange, and it's not got less stranger really, because apparently the dogs couldn't find a scent. So they've drained ponds, they've searched the local area, more than once. The police, and not only the police, but Seth, his biological father, has been out searching with teams. There's been lots of people out searching, and nothing has been found. Not a trace. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. So it's like, it literally is like he's just disappeared into thin air. So I was thinking about it, as I say, a lot today, and I was thinking about his parents, and if when, to be honest, even if the parents do know something, this is torture that they're going through. I honestly do think that it must be awful, day in, day out. Not if you don't, not knowing what's happened to him. Where is he? Who's looking after him? What is he doing? Is he being hurt? All the things that be going through your head. It's absolute torture, I think. And as I was thinking about that, and I was thinking about how a lot of people think that the Proudfoots have had something to do with it, or without any evidence, to be fair. And and then up in my feed, in my YouTube feed, popped a case that I remember, and I don't know if any of you know about it, but I'm going to show you a picture of this little girl. So this is Sandra Cantu, and Sandra Cantu was 8 years old, and she went missing from the trailer park. I think it was a trailer park where she lived with a mum. And she just disappeared, and she was there was some CCTV, literally some CCTV of her in the trailer park. She seemed to be distracted and looked to one side as if somebody was calling her, and that was it. She was gone. And the reason that this so I started watching the video. It was a true crime sort of video by one of the YouTubers that I really like, Truly Criminal. And initially, there was a lot of suspicion on her biological father, because having said that, he and the wife had split up, but there was no animosity. But he obviously came under suspicion, because that is just how it goes. I expect the mother was under suspicion as well. So she was 8 years old. She disappeared on March the 27th in 2009 in California, in Tracy, California. And it just made me think how sometimes, children go missing, and the parents do get, parents obviously are going to be the first suspect, just like sometimes partners go missing and the partners are the first suspects. But it's not always the case. sometimes it's somebody that you would never imagine in a million years. And Sandra Cantu's case is that. If you know, so even when the police, when they cleared the father in the end because he was at work, it was proven that he was at work. There was another guy that was sort of put in the frame, if you like, as someone else living on the trailer park. They were only looking at men because they put the FBI put together like a profile, of who they thought would have done this. And they thought, the profile that they came up with as a man, well, they say done it, at the time she was just missing. They didn't really know what had happened to her. But there were, that was the profile that the police came up with, that would be a man in his 40s, between 40 and 50, a local, they come up with this criminal profiling, who they think is likely to be responsible for things. Never even occurred to them that it might be a woman. It might be a woman who did it. And poor little Sandra, she was found in a suitcase. I mean, it's a complex story. And I will do a video about it one day because, this story needs to be told. We should never forget, because we should never forget. It's not always the first person that you think it is. Sometimes it's someone completely that you would never imagine that it was. And that's what happened in this case. Sandra was found in a suitcase and she had been RAPD'd, but not with, they didn't find any DNA on her. She had been assaulted with an object. And the person who had done it was one of the neighbours, a woman. So it was no one that they thought in the beginning that it could, no one they would have thought of in a million years. This woman, she sort of, anyway, as I said, it's a long story and I will do a video on it one day. But just made me think how sometimes it's somebody, and now I'm not saying that something has happened to Sebastian like what happened to Sandra. What I'm trying to say is, you just never know. It might be some complete thing that we don't even know. Somebody may have taken him off, but maybe not even for, maybe Sebastian had arranged to meet someone, or maybe Sebastian said to someone that he wanted to go, he didn't want to go back home or whatever. Or maybe, it's possible, of course, that something bad might have happened to him as well. But we're not thinking like that tonight. We're trying to think on the positive side. But the point I'm trying to make here is not that I think that what happened to Sandra may have happened to Sebastian, but that you never ever know. And until we know what's happened, we should not presume anything, because sometimes it's the last thing that you would imagine, and it could be something that has not even been considered yet. Okay, so we go back to Sebastian's picture. You all okay in chat? Hope you're all okay. I think Desi's there. Hi, Desi. Hi, Ocean. Yeah, so I thought it was strange how this had sort of just popped up in my feed as well, because as I was thinking about it, all the things, going over, thinking about this, I mean, what happened? You just want to reach into the photo and say to Sebastian, where are you? Where are you? And etc. It's awful, isn't it? It's awful for us, so God knows how the poor families are feeling. Okay, so we're going to start looking at these interviews now. Right. Let's put some windows down and then... Right, so where are we going to start? So I have got a couple of interviews that I want to show you with Seth. Right, so we're going back more or less to the beginning, to interviews that I hadn't seen, because as I said, I didn't come into this case until later on, and maybe you haven't seen. And We're going to also look at a couple of videos of Seth's that you may not have seen as well. Right. So the first one I think we're going to look at, let me see, was this one of the... Now we saw the interview with Nancy Grace, so I'm not going to show that because we did go through that. That was probably the first interview that I showed of Katie and Chris. Hi, Mara. So we're going to look at this interview. Well, there's well, it's one interview, but there's a few different videos that they did. Now, when was this? So it says March the 5th. So quite a while ago now, March the 5th. And they did this interview with this news channel, WSMV, with Holly Thompson. And that's what we're going to look at, these videos. So I'm interested to know your thoughts. I'm not going to say very much apart from the fact I don't feel well, but also I'm trying to just listen to it and think of it, you know, without all the gossip that goes round, etc., and just looking at them and the way they come over on the interview. And obviously you'll all have your thoughts, but remember to be respectful and remember to be nice to each other, because people probably will disagree. I think this is, again, one of those polarizing cases, isn't it? Where some people, most people are sort of, you know, I think more on Seth's side. But, you know, I personally, I'm not sure if I certainly don't hate these people. I don't see the same thing in it, but everybody's got their reasons for what they see. And I think they're quite magnanimous towards Seth in this interview. You'll find when the interviewer asks them about the biological father, they're really complimentary about him. So they're not trying to throw him under the bus or do anything like that. So that was interesting for me. Okay, let's have a look.
Express, I can't even imagine as a parent what you two are going through. How would you describe the situation right now? How are you coping?
To me, Katie looks a bit shell-shocked, and of course she's rocking. Chris is looking to one side to see if she's okay. Now, you can look at that in two different ways. Some people say he's controlling her. Maybe he's looking at her to see if she's okay. Oh, hang on, I haven't put the...
We're on a constant roller coaster.
Sorry, I haven't put the poor Sebastian. Sebastian doesn't wear... I haven't put Sebastian down, have I? Hang on. Let me just take that down, and then now you can see Charlie. Now you can see. Hi, Heather. Let's try again.
Right, of helpless and hopeless and many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending roller coaster. It doesn't stop. It won't stop until he walks through the door.
I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Not anyone.
I know we're about keeping hope alive. I'm sure that's in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
He's gonna
Always.
come home.
He's going to walk through that door. And this street will be flooded again with family and relatives all waiting to hug and love him. And
That boy's gonna have more friends than he knows what to do with when he comes home.
So here we are, 8 days now searching for him. Walk us through that Sunday night that he went missing.
Right, sorry, just before we do that, yeah, I need to say for people, some people might not know, but of course, like as I say, you'll find in this interview, they're really nice about Seth. But then Seth started saying some quite bad things, didn't he, about them? And then there was all this sort of animosity and mudslinging, mainly from Seth, to be fair. But Seth's probably, it's probably the stress and everything. But then, of course, the other day, Seth announced that it was now going to be, they were all joining forces together, and it was like, forgive and forget, and it was Team Sebastian. And that caused a lot of consternation for people that had been hating on the Proudfoots and supporting Seth. And now Seth really basically he literally did tell everyone to F off if they couldn't accept this, though he did apologize for the way he put it later. So I think maybe it is just the stress showing as well, isn't it? But personally, when I watch this, I think she looks very upset, this woman. Now, Katie, she could well be upset because of what's happened. I'm sure let's take the worst case scenario that she did do something to Sebastian. I'm sure she'd be regretting it and be sad about it. So she would be sad, whatever. But she does look genuinely upset to me, or maybe that's just, or maybe she's a good actress. I mean, you tell me what you think.
So walk us through, we've got so many people who really want to know, okay, how did this happen? So kind of just walk us through that night.
We were out and about that day.
Hi, Gillian.
We were having a really good weekend. We got home. Everything was pretty normal. He was playing in his room. When I told him to go to bed, he did. He said, "Good night, Mom. I love you." Said goodnight to his puppies. A little bit later, I wound up going to bed, and when I woke him up for school, he wasn't there.
So in your mind, that's usually around what time?
Hi, Misty. Yeah, let me know let's, because I've just seen, everyone's probably got an opinion, so let us know your opinion.
When do you normally wake up? Around 6 o'clock? So were you instantly thinking something's wrong, or were you like, he may just be already in the shower?
I took a
in the living
second.
room?
I took a second and walked through the house looking for him in case he'd gotten up and was trying to get breakfast or something, because he did that sometimes. About 3 minutes in, give or take, I was on the phone with my husband. I said, "I can't find him." He said, "What do you mean you can't find him?" I said, "He's not in the house."
And so at that point, is that when you call 911, or what's going through your mind?
While we were on the phone, and I was like, is he on the other side of the bed? The normal places he may be in the house, and he wasn't. So I was like, okay, well, hold on a minute. And immediately after that, we called the sheriff's department and made the report.
I ran all over the house, outside, inside. I looked in every closet.
Within minutes, they were here. They responded within minutes, and here we go.
So you said you were on the phone with her, so
Yes,
you were not home?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I was at work. I'm a tower crane operator, and I was working in Memphis at the St. Jude project. So it's, I have an earpiece in that talks to my phone. I have another earpiece in that does the radios. So when she was talking to me, it was like, what? I was confused. We talked about where he could possibly be, and then we went from there and led to calling the cops, and here we are now.
Within minutes, they're at the home.
Yeah, I'm sort of, it struck my mind. I thought maybe they did have an argument and he ran off. But why wouldn't she just say that? Why wouldn't she say they'd had an argument and he ran off? That's nothing wrong with, that happens, isn't it? In families of God. How many of you can say you haven't had an argument with your 15-year-old son or daughter, if you've got one or had one? So that's not a thing not to say, is it, to the police? Just say, "Oh my God, we had this argument, he ran off." He didn't take his shoes or his phone, and he's not come back. I don't see why she would lie about having an argument. But then when I look at her face there, just as that stopped there, I feel like she's playing something in her head, replaying something in her head. So, but we don't know. We don't know. I don't think he's got anything to do with that. I think he was at work. He may have been involved, if it's presuming that Katie did have something to do with it, which I'm not saying she did. I'm just saying even if she did, I think Chris wasn't. I think the police will have checked that out, absolutely, personally. But, how could he, how could he have been there? He wasn't there. He may have been involved in some sort of cover-up afterwards.
Yes, ma'am.
It was rapid fire. They had cars.
They
They had
lied
cars from here down to
to the main
road, as far as I could tell.
So what's going through both of your minds? I mean, are we
Hi, Georgie.
panicking? Is it this, oh, I think he's probably at a neighbor's house, or what are you thinking?
My son doesn't run. He's not a runner. He's never run away before. I don't know why. I don't know why he walked out that door.
I mean, he's a good kid. He's not a mischievous child by any means. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions with no answers right now that we are searching for desperately, and we just don't have that.
Is there anything that happened that day that you think back and there might have been a reason he was possibly upset, or something outside that could have enticed him to go outside? Was there anything that came to mind?
We've been combing over that day and even the weeks before he left, and I hadn't been able to figure it out. He's that morning he was laughing, he was joking. Everyone we were around that day agreed that he seemed like he was in a good mood. He was behaving. It'd make more sense if we'd been fighting.
Or he'd been in trouble, but he hadn't been in trouble. So, I mean, the $1 million question, why did he go? And the other $1 million question is how.
What about social media? Is there anything that, anyone he could have contacted? I understand he was somewhat of a gamer, or what was he? There was a video game he loved, right?
Minecraft. He loves Minecraft. The game that he has is not online. He has the Switch.
We don't, because of how social media can be, he doesn't have accessibility to communicate with folks on internet. I mean, we have a firm belief that we just don't feel that right now that he's capable of having that kind of responsibility. So, I mean, his phone is locked down.
Well, he did have access to internet gaming at Seth's house, which we don't know that he did have contact with anyone. I would imagine the police would have been able to establish that, because wouldn't they be able to get his gaming console from Seth's house? And would they not be able to trace from his gaming history? Wouldn't they be able to trace that and see if he had any contact with anyone? I think they can tell those sort of things now. I think he ran away. I do think he ran away, but whether it's because they had an argument, and like we were saying, maybe she just doesn't want to admit they had an argument. Maybe she feels bad about it. Or maybe somebody picked him up. It does happen. That's what happened to Sandra Cantu. She was just coming home from school and a neighbour called her from over the road, and that was it. A woman. So this is what I'm saying. We don't know. That could have happened to Sebastian. He could have gone to take the rubbish out. One of the neighbours could have called him over, and one of the neighbours might, again, I'm not saying that that's what happened. I'm just saying these are all the different possibilities. There's so many possibilities. I'm sure the police have got a bit of an idea what's happened to Sebastian, but of course they're saying nothing. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation is saying absolutely nothing. They are so tight-lipped, they're not even saying anything to them.
Computer routine. He doesn't have a gamer tag. He doesn't have online capabilities with games. I mean,
We've combed every electronic.
I mean, we've cooperated with all the authorities as far as anything they've asked us to provide. We've provided, and still just don't have any answers.
Did he have any friends that could have possibly contacted him in some way on his phone?
All his friends at school have been questioned to my knowledge, and none of them knew anything.
So this big question mark. He's vanished.
Yes, ma'am.
And no one can figure out where or why. All right. So let's talk too about the relationship involved, because the biological father is very much involved in Sebastian's life as well.
Yes, ma'am.
He
Very
is.
much.
Right. And how would you describe that relationship, the two of them and the four of you?
It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy. And I mean, he doesn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row.
Yeah, so they're very nice about Seth. They're very nice about Seth. He's, they've got nothing bad to say about Seth. So that's interesting then, when how it turned out as Seth saying quite a lot of things bad about them. But yeah, it struck me that they were, like if they were looking for someone to blame when really it was them, but they were looking for someone else to cast a suspicion on, they certainly didn't do that.
In two different households, and the communication between the three of us is great. I mean, yes, we're just like every parent. We all have our disagreements, but in the end, we come together as a team and we work and we come up with solutions that as we best see fit. I mean, I'm almost in contact with him almost daily.
Yeah, he says he's in contact with Seth almost daily, and if there's any problems, they get together and they come up with solutions. Strange.
Let's talk about Sebastian. Tell me about Sebastian. How would you describe him?
Sweet, stubborn. He loves to help. He loves running, and he loves to play his games.
I think when she said he's stubborn, Seth said that as well. He says it later in an interview that we're going to look at. He described Sebastian as stubborn as well. Now, it may be that because of, maybe he is stubborn. So when he went out and maybe he was like, I'm not going back, kids do things like that, don't they? I'm not going back. I'm going to show him, I'm going to show him if they don't care about me. A lot of kids do that. I can remember feeling like that when I was a teenager. So it's funny that they both described him as stubborn. So that could have had an impact on it. Again, I'm just throwing ideas out there. I don't know what happened.
And his fidgets and Uno. Lord, that's one of his favorite games right now. Favorite color is green.
Does he love music?
Oh, God,
Oh.
he loves music.
An eclectic taste.
I
An
mean,
eclectic. I mean, from, as everybody knows, Eye of the Tiger to Eddie Vedder.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So we got Pearl Jam on one hand, we've got Survivor on the other over here, we've got Taylor Swift. And,
he's got a big crush on her.
Yes, he's got apparently Sebastian's got eclectic taste in music, likes all that different music. Taylor Smith, that Eye of the Tiger, because they played that song for him didn't they? They played it out loud, the police did, to try and entice him out of the woods if he was in the woods or whatever. And Misty, I've just seen your message, but there is definitely, because I can see on my other computer that there's like a little $sign. I think that's where you gift a membership. I think so. If you can't do it, don't worry, but thank you.
I mean, country, rock,
No hip hop.
classic.
We don't allow the hip hop.
Well, he doesn't really
Well, I
get
say
into it
rap and
anyways.
things.
You mentioned he loved running. So did he love the outdoors at all? I mean, would something outside that was somewhat outdoorsy be enticing to him or pull him outdoors?
He loves, like, when we were in California and the school had this lap thing to gain money. It was a fundraiser. And every year I did this many laps. I did this many laps. I mean, I've got T-shirts where they would write on his back. Every time the kids went around, they'd mark a mark on the back and they'd keep running. And he just had marks all the way across his back. He likes playgrounds. He hates being dirty. He don't like being dirty.
And that was interesting, wasn't it, when she said he doesn't like being dirty, because obviously if you go out without your shoes on, you're going to get your feet dirty. So that was a strange thing. Jamie, we're going over this because we haven't watched this together yet, because we missed all these early interviews. Because when I say we, I'm talking about my community, because we were concentrating at the time, was more looking at the Riley Strain case and Samantha Murphy, etc. So we're catching up on videos that we haven't seen so that we can chat about it together. Some people have seen it, and then, it is, as Trace said, it's always a good thing to go over things.
Yeah, he's not your tomboy style child where he goes outside and plays in the mud.
He loves animals, but he's terrified of bugs.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, even a fly, and he's like, oh!
Let's talk too, because he's highly functioning.
So there again, so she said he doesn't like bugs. He loves animals, but doesn't like bugs, even a fly. So he's not really going to go out into the woods on his own, where there could be all sorts of creepy crawlies and bugs, so you can't see him doing that. Imagine that he must have he's either gone and hidden somewhere, or somebody's picked him up, or, I can't see that he would have voluntarily gone to the woods if he doesn't like creepy crawlies and stuff.
I know you all have described him as having a form of autism.
He does.
But just describe that to our viewers too, as far as his way of thinking of things and maybe how determined he was about certain things, or his mindset.
He's got a stubborn mindset. If he believes it's this,
he gets on a one-man track and he is just on it, and he is all about it.
But I mean, he's very smart. He can play chess. He can beat adults in chess.
Wow.
So
he loves.
Yeah, that's right. I think we can't assume that just because he's autistic, he can't sort of function, or he can't. So he can play. Lots of autistic children are very, very clever, aren't they? Very clever. Autism doesn't mean stupid. That's for sure. And I'd seen a picture of him playing chess, and of course, he can play adults. He's saying, because some children are good at chess, some children just hate it, or some people. I find chess boring. That's my problem with chess. I like chess, but it's boring, isn't it? Because it's just I don't mind chess where you've only got like a minute to make your move, but these chess matches that go on for hours and that, I get fed up, and then I lose concentration, and that's the end of it. But it's interesting to know that he likes chess. So he must be very intelligent and be able to think forward, because with chess, you have to plan out the moves. You have to be able to think forwards. So, this makes it even stranger that he would have just disappeared.
Loves playing games.
What about navigation? Like, did he have a sense of direction? Do you think he could have possibly even hitched a ride or gotten a ride on a bus or some sort of transportation?
That is a speculation that we don't have an answer for. Just
I mean-
directionally, he knows he could guide you from our house to his dad's house.
Yeah.
He could get from like this house. I think he can make it up to Culver's ice cream.
He can go to Culver's.
Oh, the boy loves
He
a
knows
malt.
where Culver's is because Culver's has malt.
Uh-huh.
He loves malt, extra malt. Every time, extra malt.
Now, how far away does his dad live?
Clarksville. His dad lives up by Clarksville.
So he could guide someone all the way to Clarksville.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So a pretty keen sense of direction, at least with certain things.
If-
Familiar routes.
Yes.
Familiar routes. Okay.
Familiar routes.
I mean, if I took him another route going
He
this way,
takes
he would
it.
not know it.
He goes up there so often that he knows.
Thank you, Misty, for the memberships. Thank you so much. You're very, very kind. You really are kind. Thank you.
He knows how to get to his daddies. We know that.
His dad works with him as far as, well, we're going this way, we're going that way, and
Mhm.
Mhm.
keeps the same thing, and it works out.
Mhm.
So,
Let's talk too, because earlier, Chris, you and I were talking, and you were saying that there are a lot of people who are harassing both of you. What of any of that do you want to address? What do you want to say to any of these people?
Just that you don't know. And I don't wish you to ever know.
I would say it like this: everybody has an opinion, you know, and it's perfectly okay to have that opinion, but you're not in this situation. You don't quite understand. I wish people would step back, take a different, wide open view, and not assume what they know. It's just better to stick to the facts. If they have questions, all they have to do is ask.
And I pray genuinely that no one ever goes through this.
Just be kind to people. I mean, it's real simple.
There are some people who have been talking, because I know this is part of the harassment. Is there anything you want to address about this child custody situation with the previous?
So I have a current case that is ongoing in another state. We've requested that case to be sealed because there are some individuals who have taken upon themselves to put stuff out there that they don't quite know, which all they have to do is ask. I'll tell you. But because of that, you know, it has nothing to do with our son. It has nothing to do with the situation. You know, I just people would respect that and then keep an open mind. It's totally different.
If Sebastian is able to watch this, and maybe he's watching this as it airs, and if he
Now, when she's hi Keisha, when the reporter says, "Oh, if Sebastian's watching this, maybe he's able to be watching it," she got really quite upset then. When she said that, like she started to sort of get really upset.
he is, what do you want to say to Sebastian? What do you want him to hear from you right now?
Oh, gosh. That we love you so much. And we want you to come home. And you're not in trouble.
I guarantee you he is loved. And trust me, the open arms are waiting for him to come home. From every parent to every family members to probably everyone in the community. But there's no malice that we just want our boy home. Badly. But
That mama's heart, I know it's daddy's too, but I feel like there's always that extra special bond. Can you walk us through what you're thinking right now?
I just want my baby to be okay.
Yeah, you know. Hi, Anna Bernadette. Welcome. Welcome to the crazy train. I honestly, I don't get bad feelings from them. Maybe I don't know, maybe I'm missing something, but I feel like there may have been an argument, and that might have been why I ran it. Maybe there is something she's holding back, but I don't feel that she's done anything terrible to him. I don't feel that. I just don't feel it. But maybe I'm wrong, but
I don't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at.
Let's talk about the community, because I want you all to know, even my church body, I mean, we're all praying for his safe return quickly. What do you all want to say to the community?
Thank you.
With everything from the bottom of our hearts. I would not have imagined how far this has gotten, but there's no way to repay the gratitude, the love that we've felt from the community, the prayers. But thank you.
But
from the
don't
bottom of our
stop
hearts.
looking.
Yeah, please.
My son is somewhere.
This ain't over until he's home.
So we have, let's mention, it's been on the search itself, because we know thousands of miles have basically been traced and retraced. We've got hundreds, we've got volunteers, we've got law enforcement from within the state, from outside of the state. I mean, do you feel like they're doing as much as they can? I mean, you all have been right there in the front seat, seeing everything that's underway.
As far as I know, they're doing everything. Anything and everything has been an option. They have brought in assets and resources from various counties, potentially other states. I mean, I don't know how much more they could do, but we're grateful for everything they have done.
They're amazing, but they still.
yes. Please give me a like. 97 people watching, which is great, but I think there's only 22 likes. Misty was saying, so please like the video. Right, let me start. I am here. I am
Want
here.
my baby back.
It is live.
They will. They will.
He's out there somewhere. So it's one day at a time, getting through this and bringing him home. What is the reaction to the fact that somehow his image, he hasn't been captured on any video anywhere?
I know that it was very dark that night. I mean, it gets dark around here at night in general, but so far we haven't found him on any camera footage to prove where he's at or where he's gone. I know that they're looking, and I went asking everybody and anybody that has cameras, trail cams, stores, to check, even from before he went missing, just to see if there's anything at all.
And I understand there was a request for video, any sort of footage of Sebastian from earlier in the day on Sunday before he disappeared.
That I don't believe we can comment on right now. That is not something that I believe we're privy to at this point with law enforcement. That is something I would definitely direct back to them. But I mean, there's all kinds of requests out there. There's thousands of hours of video that they are combing, and we're just hoping they'll find something.
And I know this is so sensitive. What do you say to people who...
Now, I just noticed in the chat somebody said that they thought the police had some video that they haven't released. Maybe they do have some more video. You know, the police don't always release all the video, do they? Remember with Riley Strain, you know, they released bits of the video, then they released the thing of him saying hello to the policeman. You know, they didn't release everything all at once. That is what the police do. So there could be some footage out there that we just haven't seen yet.
Who inevitably end up pointing their finger back at you. We were talking earlier, and I mean, are you both in the clear?
I can tell you that Mom, myself, and the father have worked very fully and cooperatively with all agencies across the board. We have anything that they've wanted, we have provided. So cooperation is there. I mean,
What do you want to say to our viewers? Anybody who's watching, we've got a lot of folks in this community and in other counties just throughout the state as well. What do you want to say to them?
Help spread the word and keep searching, and thank you. And just if you think you see him, call him in.
thank all the viewers, everybody that's helped from across the board. I mean, everybody has been tremendous.
Call his name.
Yeah.
He'll answer, and if he doesn't answer, he'll look, even if he's not being verbal at the moment, because he can talk, but sometimes he don't talk. Call his name. Tell him to stay put.
He could be on the move, so keep checking your properties.
Yes. Like, the search is never over until he comes home. That is for
He's
sure.
so smart.
But thank you for everything that everybody has done, has volunteered, the continuous efforts. I mean, it's, like I said, I've never seen something to this magnitude before.
Our community is amazing.
We're all praying, hoping, and searching for Sebastian's safe return for that day. Thank you both for
Thank
talking
you.
with me.
Well, there you go. So that's the first couple of interviews. Hi, Ebo. Hi, there was somebody else, Elizabeth Hernandez. Sorry, gosh. Hi, Ebo. Where have you been, Ebo? We haven't seen you for ages. So that's the first interview. Now, as somebody just said then in the chat, there's no mention there, was there, of the thud in the bedroom. That's strange, isn't it? Because I haven't seen that interview before. That's the first time that I've seen that little set of interviews. I've never seen it before. I saw the interview with the thud. I think that might be the next one we're going to look at. And I was thinking that there's not been enough made of that thud, if you like. That was the Chronicles of Olivia interview. That's what we're going to look at now. You know, because that was significant. Obviously, if you know, she heard a thud, and then, you know, the next morning the son had disappeared, then that thud is significant, isn't it? But it wasn't mentioned in that interview at all, was it? Okay, so let's look at the next one. So this is the Chronicles of Olivia. So we have to give credit to, you know, I really like Olivia's channel. And also what I do like about the Chronicles of Olivia as well. So I thought I had subscribed. Obviously not. Anyway, what the other thing I like about Olivia as well is that she doesn't, you know, come down on one side or another or anything like that. She went there. Why is this not coming up yet? Hang on. She went there. She interviewed them, you know, without fear or favour, if you like. Why is that not coming up on the? Hang on. It's supposed to be showing, but can you see it? Yeah. Let me stop sharing it and then share it again. It doesn't seem to be coming up on my other computer for some reason. Let's try again. There you go. There you go. It's coming up now. So I have seen this interview before. But that one we watched before, I hadn't seen. And that one we watched before, there was no mention of the thud. But this is the interview where they mention the thud. Now, Olivia was invited to the house, and also her and I think, well, she ended up just staying and doing the interview. But I think one of the people she took along with her did go and have a look around the house. That, you know, they were open about the house. So let's have a look. What's
Vanished from Hendersonville, Tennessee on February 26th of 2024. He vanished and hasn't been seen since.
Although he doesn't like to be dirty, it's kind of funny because he also doesn't have awareness. Because if you look, he's got chocolate milk on his face because he didn't wipe it off at breakfast. It's funny like that.
Can you recap the overall story of Sebastian's disappearance? Kind of walk through that day.
Sunday, the day before he went missing, we got up and, fun fact, I made breakfast that morning. We had a good time. We were laughing, we were joking. He talked to family on the phone during breakfast to brag. We went and picked up our niece. Yeah, I got a call and asked if I could go and pick her up, and I did. And so we went and did that. We went to BJ's. Had a good time there. He ate a colossal popcorn. Came home to put groceries away because we got snacks because, you know, he's 15 and snacks. We went to the bowling alley, and then from there we went to dinner. Came home. He took out the trash because that's his chore. He takes the can to the end of the driveway. About 9 o'clock, I told him to go to bed. And he's come out of his room where he was playing, and he said, "All right, good night, Mama. Good night, puppies. I love you." And went to bed.
Right, I've just got to stop this. I was just looking and see, watching what Misty had said, that someone suggested the 2 flashlights were from the dustbin men. They were supposed to be from the dustbin men. That's what the police are saying, isn't it? And it could have knocked him over, and they panicked and put him in the dustbin lorry. I mean, I do think there's a reason why they were searching that landfill site. What was the reason they were searching that landfill site? I wondered that he may have hidden in the bin, or they might have suspected that he hid in the bin, or they definitely found his footprints out there. His footprints were out there, according to the police. We listened to that. We listened to the first 11 hours or whatever of the police response, and they definitely say they could see footprints, barefoot footprints. So I think he was definitely out there at some point. So I suppose that theory, Misty, at the end of the day is as good as any, but it's very depressing if that happened, because of course that means that Sebastian's not with us anymore. But surely the bin men wouldn't have done that. They would have knocked him over by accident. Surely they wouldn't have done that. But I have wondered right from the start, why did the police search that landfill? You don't go and search a landfill just for the fun of it. It's horrible. You know, it's a horrible task. You know, one of those videos we watched the other day about the family annihilators and the John Sharps in Australia. And he took his wife and his baby's body to the landfill, and the police had to look for them. You know, it was horrible, but they did find them, thank God. So right from the beginning, when they said that they were searching that landfill, I thought, why? They'd be doing that. They're not doing that, you know, for no reason. There's a reason why they went and searched that landfill.
He was doing something in his room because about an hour later I heard some noise, and I was like, "I don't care what you're doing in there, but go to sleep." And about midnight I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock I went to wake him up for school Monday morning, and that's when he went in here.
What was going through your mind at that point? Like, what were the feelings that you were feeling?
To censor myself. Holy freaking crap, this can't be happening. Where is my kid? Choice words were used. Like, you know, where the F is he? You know. I had looked through the house for him because it was typical for him to get up and come and rummage for snacks and things like that. And he likes to dip behind the, you know, walls and watch, you know, and then he comes out after I come back and he likes to scare me. But after I looked, and I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband, and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in this effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school, and he's already like, at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying, I was screaming. And he was like, three-wayed. He three-wayed law enforcement and was telling them like, our son is missing and we don't know what's going on. And he was like, go back to the house, they're on their way. And I drove back to the house. And 20 days later, we found him.
Yeah, I can't even imagine how stressful that is. And also, like when we were driving up here.
So she started rocking again, hasn't she? She seems calmer in this interview than she was in the last one, but I suppose as time goes on, you just probably get drained, don't you? But she's rocking again.
Like, this neighborhood is so pretty and nice. And do you think, has he ever like walked away before, or like has that ever happened? It's just no, first time.
He's not a child that wanders. He's not one that is
He doesn't have a history of being an eloper, which is common. And I have friends with children on the spectrum who do struggle with elopement with their children. But no, Sebastian, that's one thing. It's always been a blessing. He's not been an eloper or a runner. His primary areas are like social and emotional dysregulation issues and things like that. But he's very smart. He's functional. Overall, he's a pretty happy kid. I mean, he's a teenager. He's coming into his hormones. He's angry that he's growing a mustache. But for the most part, he's a happy kid. And
what are your theories? Like, I'm sure your mind has thought of every possible thing that could have happened, but is there any theory that you can talk about that you think?
What I can tell you is, with all law enforcement, with everybody that's involved, there's nothing that's been eliminated. Everything is on the table. Everything is being looked at from every possible aspect.
Everything from he got out and walked away and was outside of the search radius before we started searching to the worst.
Yeah. And that's currently where we're at. I mean, it's...
Yeah. Really trying not to go down that road because we're going to find him.
Speculating causes problems. Assumptions cause issues. And based on facts of what everybody knows, right now, there's nothing, and everything is still on the table to being looked at.
I just know he's out there somewhere.
One other question I have is, recently Channel 5 in Nashville, they had security footage that showed 2 flashlights the night he disappeared. Is there anything that you think about this video? Or
Now, I just want to say there, because they're going to talk about those strange lights, which now they're saying were a lorry, but she did say that Sebastian had taken a flashlight with him. So I would imagine when he takes something out to the rubbish, he would take a flashlight, wouldn't he? wouldn't you take a flashlight? Because when you get, now that I've seen sort of the area where they live, and they live in that massive house, and it's right out in the, it's not exactly, in a sort of built up area, is it? So if he was going to the rubbish bin, is that why he would have taken a flashlight and no shoes just to go out to the rubbish bin? Because they're not sort of mentioned. It's like that hasn't been mentioned for a while, has it? One thing he did supposedly take with him was a flashlight. So it makes you think that he did maybe just nip out, and maybe something did happen to him, as Misty said. It just could be something completely more than we've ever even imagined.
Sure. So there's a lot of speculations about that video that are floating on the internet. Okay. And that is exactly what it is. It's speculations. Now, what it can give you an official statement on is TBI Newslink has released a statement from law enforcement, between local law enforcement, state law enforcement, some federal law enforcement, and they have analyzed that video so many times over that everything that everybody is trying to assume is a flashlight, I hate to say this, it's not. As much as we would love it to be one, it's not. I'm not going to go into details as far as where that video is shot from, but I can tell you, as the parents, we have seen the video firsthand from law enforcement. We know exactly where it was taken from, and nothing that is being assumed right now is actually true about that video, unfortunately. And anything about any other videos or anything like that, please refer to the TBI news link that they have out there, the updated Amber Alert stuff. And it will give you the most up-to-date information that all law enforcement has. And they will give you current as far as what's what and how they're looking at things.
And if there's any new video, forward it to them.
Please.
Yeah. Security footage is really like a game changer. We're working on Riley's strain and trying to find like if someone missed one on a corner or something. That's
around this neighborhood, and this whole community. I mean, I can tell you that much here. When it comes to the cameras, there has not been one person that has said no. And trust me, it is greatly felt that everybody has been so open, so helpful in pushing out any which way they can. I mean, there's been some families that have actually been on vacation that weren't home, and they got permission from that family to take a look at their cameras and go in their houses without them even being present, which has been amazing. So, yeah.
That's good. If there was something that you could say to Sebastian if he was listening, what would you say?
Oh, God. That if you can see this or hear this, that we just want you home, baby, and we love you. And there ain't nothing gonna stop us from coming and getting you and bringing you home.
I can't speak for his father, but I'm pretty sure we all have the same opinion that we love you, miss you, we want you home. If you can, call us, get wherever you can, let us know, and we will come get you.
Call 911, run out into the street, go in public, anything. The signs that we've been blessed to have family, friends, and even some in the community that have been helping us, but we've been out spreading those as far as we can, even over state lines, trying to get awareness because, not everybody knows that he's missing, and there's a chance that if someone can see him and not even realize who he is. So we want to get his face out there because we want him home.
Surprisingly, even locally, there are some folks that don't even know what's going on, and it's kind of like a shocker. Like, how do you not know? It's it is amazing because in the past couple of weeks, you've got 2 cases. A 15-year-old boy that has vanished without a trace. You've got a 22-year-old, 6'4" or 7" college kid from Missouri who has vanished without a trace. That's a huge significance here. That it's like, wow, how? So
It's scary.
That's strange, isn't it? In bringing up those like Riley Strain and other people. Why is he doing that? It's strange. There is something strange. Katie sort of looks over to me. Katie often looks like she's playing something in her mind, thinking, visualizing something that had happened. But I do personally think she is genuinely upset. But honestly, you could watch these things and you just don't know. I just hope this doesn't turn into like a summer case, because here we are years on and summer's still not been found, and that is in the similar area, isn't it? Doesn't it come under the same jurisdiction? Summer Wells has not been found. She just disappeared into thin air and nothing's ever been proven about what happened to her. I hope this doesn't turn into that, let's just hope so. Just hope that he's being kept somewhere. That's I hope I have to hold on. So I think you have to hold on to the positive thought that he may well come home. But looking at Katie's face there, she does look like there's something more that she's holding back, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the college kid is from Missouri, I think.
Yeah, Missouri.
I can only imagine what his family is going through.
It's like your worst nightmare come alive.
Do you guys receive hate
That-
on the internet?
Yes, and it's ongoing. It's every single day.
Yeah, now they're going to moan about the internet here, but I've never known a case either, honestly. And I've covered a lot of cases, and not only since I've been doing this channel, but just from, being interested in true crime for years. Have you ever seen a case where so many people have appeared so often on social media or even mainstream media? So many interviews. Normally you get an occasional interview or a press conference, or this is like, they can't wait. Not only them, but Seth as well. They can't wait to get on YouTube. That really surprises me. For all of them, why are they on YouTube all the time? And then moaning about social media, if you like, and, that thing is, people will always imagine things, and that, people will always speculate. There'll always be some people who think they're guilty, other people who think they didn't. And appearing on social media doesn't make that better. In fact, if anything, it makes it worse because it gives people more things to talk about, more things to speculate about. I've never known a case where there's been so much social media coverage, with actual interviews, not just like talking about it, but actual interviews from the people.
People are people, and they have their opinions. Everybody is formulating their idea of what's going on and who's guilty and who's not guilty because they want to know, or they feel they need to know. There's a difference. Unfortunately, what I will tell you is that when you're the family in this position and you're working with law enforcement and everything's going the way it goes, people automatically assume this parent or that parent. And in this situation, I can promise you, every single parent has been vetted. I can't go into details, but I can tell you we have been vetted and we have been cleared of all possibility of wrongdoing, foul play. There's nothing to that. We've heard all kinds of stories.
I pretty much don't even go online anymore at this point.
I, on the other hand, I do go on and I do talk to these folks, and I want them to understand they have this formulated opinion on who we are, not who we truly are. They've never met us. We've never crossed paths with some of these folks. But I have told them online, if you want to know, just ask me. I'll answer your questions to the best of what I can. There are some things that I cannot give you because law enforcement has dictated that we are not to provide certain information. But I will try. I am direct, I am brash, but I am very respectful.
Yeah, he hasn't been cleared. What you said earlier just was not correct. I mean, he hasn't. No one's been cleared. The police have said that although there's nothing suspicious at the moment, that they can see. Remember, they said this with Samantha Murphy for about 4 weeks, didn't they? Nothing suspicious. No reason to suspect there's anything suspicious. Next minute, oh yeah, it's suspicious, and then the next minute they arrested someone and charged him with murder. So I don't think the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation have said everything's on the table, but at the moment, they're not treating it as suspicious. That does not mean to say in the future it will not change. And it doesn't mean to say they've been cleared, but it means to say that so far everything they've said has checked out. So and the police are so tight-lipped. I mean, I think I know the police don't have to tell people what's going on, but it would help maybe a little bit more. Like the last time they gave the press conference, I was in Madrid, wasn't I? I'd gone to Madrid for the weekend. It was weeks ago. They said nothing, but to be honest, even at least if they have a press conference and say there's been no new developments, it's sort of better than nothing, isn't it? But, to not say anything, they're so quiet, strange. And but in the meantime, while the police are quiet, Seth, Chris and Katie are going off, doing interviews left, right and centre.
So if you have questions, ask. I'll give you what I can. Just be respectful, please. And keep in mind, there's 3 parents and there's thousands and millions of people out there that may have a question. We are trying to get to them. I promise you.
Oh, hang on, sorry. Press the wrong button again.
To be honest with you.
Let me just rewind that a little bit.
Think of it.
How has your guys' life been affected by this? Like, I know it's a broad question, but what's like when you wake up in the morning, what's it just like?
Miserable, to be honest with you.
Think of it like this. You wake up every morning and your routine is what it is and you know it, right? Now wake up when this happens and you can't figure out what to do. You struggle every single day on trying to get out of the bed, to deal and face everybody's negativity, and you try to make it a positive thing.
Or the fact that my son's still not home.
We have a bedroom that's empty that is never normally ever empty, except for when he's with his dad every other weekend. So now we have a child that's missing. So there's no words to describe it, but I can just tell you, it's like you get up and now you don't know what to do.
Sebastian's parents also talked about how his actions and behaviors could be different, or how he would respond in a new environment.
Well, that's kind of tricky because Sebastian hasn't been on his medication in 20 days. So he is rambunctious. He's going to be hungry. He turns into a bottomless pit. I mean, he's your teenage boy, always hungry. On the spectrum, yes. but not one autistic child in this world is like another one. What we can tell you is he's smart. He can be goofy. He kind of has issues with personal space. He hasn't mastered
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
he can be aggressive if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a teenager.
He doesn't like punch and hit and throw, but he gets really like aggressive stance or like clipped where he just won't talk to you, or you know, if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah,
Share, look, pay
be
attention.
vigilant. You know, we don't expect everybody to stop what they do and spend every waking minute. But you would be surprised on how easily people are complacent and not realize certain things. We're all guilty because we're all human. We all live a daily life. But sometimes just being a little bit extra vigilant.
Aware of your surroundings in case there's something suspicious.
You never know. But don't ever stop is all we ask. Please keep looking, keep searching. Anything, reach out. You know, doesn't matter.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely, you know, keep his story in the spotlight.
Yeah, he does, Chris. He does laugh quite often, doesn't he? It's like, mind you, I'm doing it now. Sometimes you laugh through nervousness. It's like maybe it's affectionate memories. I think he has more eye contact than Katie does. Katie's is really, her eye contact is really poor, if you like, with Olivia, whereas Chris does make eye contact. I noticed that in the other interview. Katie's always looking away. To me, it always looks like she's replaying something in her head.
And all it takes is for one person to see something or know something, and that's just that one clue.
The old saying, see something, say something.
And a few others, but we're working with everyone we can. And taking, like, some people have been kind and reached out with resources that I didn't know were out there, and I've reached out to all of them. Truckers Against Trafficking, we reached out to them just in case.
Biker world, that's one thing everybody has in common is their love for a child, and they can't stand to see children missing, hurt, and it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter what group it is. That's one commonality between every group, and that's why as a part of being in that world, we go and we utilize our brothers and sisters to help spread that word. You'd be surprised on how easy it is to spot somebody. The biker. So,
how can people help?
This community, I'm going to tell you right now, far and wide, multiple communities, counties, various people, some people in other states reach out either through social media, in person, but everybody is. Looking, they're constantly giving us ideas. Hey, check this. What about this? All of that is great.
Report anything that could potentially, even if it's little.
It doesn't matter what it is. However, what we can ask is that instead of people assuming and trying to put negative out there, just try to stay with the facts and report all the things that are positive. Any ideas that may help. Trust me, all law enforcement are available and they are looking at everything.
Sebastian Rogers is still missing. If you know something, say something. Chronicles.
Okay, so that interview again was more nearer the start. I think that was, quite near the start of everything. Of course, we're over 50 days in now. We're over 50 days in now that Sebastian has been missing. So what we're going to look at now is another interview, but this was like a bit of an impromptu one between, this is a YouTuber called the Duchess, who I'd never heard of before. So credit to her. We're going to go on there. I'm going to subscribe. In fact, I think I have already subscribed. Let me just see. Now, she was doing a live, and Chris and Katie came on to the live. So let's have a look.
His mother's cousin reached out to me. She knows me personally. And I was like, well, I know a bunch of people that I can call on that will be able to help get this case out. So it looks like that we have them coming up on panel. So if you guys will please welcome Sebastian's parents to the live stream.
So Katie and Chris come on to the live stream. They wanted to come onto it. And they had some things to say. This is what I mean. I've never seen so many appearances on social media by, by people whose children are missing, or anyone really who's involved in any case. I've never. This is just like they're constantly on there, either them or Seth.
Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you joining us.
You're welcome.
We had a really good conversation today, and I appreciate you being willing to talk to me about Sebastian going missing. So I guess I will just kind of start out with, tell me what happened the day that Sebastian went missing. I know that his mom said that he was having a good day. Tell me what happened the day that Sebastian went missing. I know that his mom said that he was having a good day. He had had a great weekend. Tell me what happened the day that Sebastian went missing. I know that his mom said that he was having a good day. He had had a great weekend. So do you want to walk us through what that looks like again for everybody?
He did have a really good weekend, actually. When we come home from having supper that evening, he was playing. When he went to bed, when I told him to go to bed, he said, "I love you, Mama," and he said, "I love you, puppies." A little later in the evening, I myself went to bed, and when I went to wake him up for school, he wasn't here.
And you did tell me that Sebastian is not a runner.
He's not.
It's okay. Take your time.
Sebastian does not have a history of running. I mean, the young man doesn't go outside very much. I mean, everybody in the neighborhood knows him. He is very to himself, so to speak. Between the hours of 12 and 6, he has basically vanished. Walked out of the house, the door was locked, and gone.
He didn't take a phone. None of his shoes are missing.
Now, you told me that night that, now, Chris, you were at work. You were out of town at work,
Yes, ma'am.
so you were not even home.
Correct, ma'am.
And Mom, you fell asleep on the couch about 10 o'clock, but you said that Sebastian went to bed at 9 p.m. And then you got up off the couch and you went to bed, and you said that was around midnight.
Midnight.
And nothing was unusual at that point. Everything seemed okay.
There's actually a piece of, so to make something very crystal clear, so that way there's transparency across the board. Me and the mom were on the phone at 9:43 or 9:46 in the evening. We stayed on the phone for quite some time. The call logs have been verified by all the police departments, TBI included. We stayed on the phone. It was very lengthy. Mom did slightly start falling asleep while she was on the couch. I had said, hey, you need to wake up, put the dogs up, go to bed. Now, mind you, that was right around midnight, just before midnight or right around midnight.
Mhm.
So then mom does go to bed and wakes up early in the morning to go wake her son up, get him ready for school. And now we have a worried mom who can't find her son in the house. Mom made an effort to look and search several times. Mom has called me at the time and asked me, she was like, I can't find him. I was like, do what? And she goes, yeah, I cannot find him. I said, well, hang on. I made the phone call and reported it to the sheriff's department because that's what we're supposed to do. And within 10 minutes, the sheriffs were dispatched to the location.
And you had told me that there hadn't been any particular situation that had occurred where you felt like there would have been something that happened. And I also had asked you if there were any friends that Sebastian might have possibly left the house with, or if he had any contact with anyone on social media. Do you want to comment about that again?
He doesn't have a social media.
Okay.
And the only friends that he had were a couple of kids in school.
Okay.
All the kids that have had any interaction with him have been interviewed and asked.
Okay.
We as parents know how social media can be,
Right.
and seeing how kids can be easily manipulated.
He's very young in mind.
Yes, he may be.
Right.
He's about 15, and he's 15 in age in his body, but his mind is not caught up to his body. But that is something that goes through with autistic children, as everybody would know.
Right.
But for the record, I am a very strict parent. He does not have social media, not in our household. He doesn't online game. I'm pretty strict when it comes to that kind of situation.
Well, that's good. That's good, Chris, that you have control of that, because social media can be very dangerous for young kids, because they don't realize who they may be talking to on social media. So it's always good to have that awareness and to make sure you're monitoring, what your kids are doing. So I had asked you both, did you have any idea what would make Sebastian want to suddenly leave the house? And you told me, well, that's the $1 million question that everybody wants to know. All the detectives, they've all asked that same question. What is it that happened that caused him to leave the house? And I know you must be so worried and so concerned. Is there anything, if Sebastian were listening to this live stream right now, if you knew that he was out there, what would you want to tell him?
That we love you and to come home.
I mean, it's pretty simple. This boy has a very large family that everybody is asking the question, where are you? We love you, and please come home.
Yes. We definitely need to find him as soon as possible. If you live in this area, please.
Okay, so I'm going to, you can go on, obviously, on the Duchess. If you haven't listened to the whole of that interview, we can't listen to it all, because I've got loads more to show you, but we'd be here all night. But if you want to go on to Duchess's channel and listen to the whole of that interview, please do that, because I'm going to move over to another, because I want to give you an idea of these interviews. First of all, how many there were, and also an idea of, what they were saying, what was being said, and the way they were saying it. So that's Duchess's channel. Here she is, Duchess. I've subscribed and liked the video, so if you want to go over and give her a watch, because it is interesting. It is interesting to hear them talk, isn't it? Okay, so we're going to stop sharing that one now. And now we're going to look at another YouTube channel where they turned up unexpectedly, live at the request of Chris Proudfoot. And this again is another YouTube channel that I personally had never heard of. So it's certainly Smiley Stories World. I think she does quite, it's not just true crime that she does quite a lot of different videos. And yeah, they popped onto her channel too. Again, let me just show you the channel so that you can go on there if you want. I've subscribed and liked the video, but if you want to go on there, and we probably won't listen to the whole, yeah, it's 3 hours, so we won't be listening to the whole video, but I just want to give you an idea of what they had to say on there as well. So they've been busy too. Seth's been busy on social media, and so have Chris and Katie. I'll just get to the beginning.
Not connected.
Hang on.
I'm dropping it again. I think she's having a bad signal. I don't.
You know, I mean, both of our children have more than just two parents.
Yeah. And I know you probably have been asked this on several channels. Y'all have been on several channels. Is there a reason that Chris hasn't seen him since? I know it had to do with the work, but
Sorry.
why did he say he hadn't seen?
I thought I had shared it. What, didn't share what? Duchess? Who didn't I share, Chumba? I have shared this. It's just not coming up for some reason. I have shared it. It's shared on my computer, but hang on, let me do it again. Ah, there you go. There you go. It's just slow. Right, you can see it now, can't you? We can see it now.
Sebastian since the 1st of February.
Because that's the truth. He hadn't seen him since the beginning of February.
I mean, is there a reason for that?
He's working 3.5 hours away. He don't come home after work.
So was he, I mean, and I'm not, I mean, I'm just wondering, like, was he gone for like 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks or something like that?
He'd been gone since the beginning of February was the last time he was actually home. Christopher was actually home. And yes, he did see Sebastian when he come home.
Okay.
It's, you know, it's just part of it when you work away, you know, you see each other when
Yeah.
you can, but he doesn't, it's a lot to travel back and forth all the time. Like, that's not a trip that you can make, you know, to and from every day by any means.
Oh, I get that. That's not something you want to do every day. That would take up your whole time. But did he never come home on the weekends, like when you had Sebastian or anything like that?
Well, yeah, that's why he saw him in the beginning of February, but it wasn't every weekend.
Okay.
Because he works on weekends too a lot, so he can't just come home every weekend. But when he can, he does. He comes home and sees him.
Yeah.
They have a pretty good relationship.
Did he talk on the phone with Sebastian while he was at work?
He does. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
He wants to see if you can drop the link again. I think it
Oh,
got
okay.
deleted in chat.
Yes, absolutely. Here we go.
I
Paste.
know they talk regularly.
Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, there we go.
A lot of people have their opinions, but Sebastian's got a good bond with both dads.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to make sure I drop it again because I want to make sure he sees it. I'm not fancy like everybody else, so I just need to make sure get it down there. That's what I was doing, was watching to see if he was coming. Oh, there he is. Oh, watching over here. Okay, I'm watching over there. Okay, so where do you want to start at, Chris? I was just asking little simple questions, or whatever about your work and stuff. Like, did you talk to Sebastian and stuff like that? But basically, I know it's a 3.5 hour drive. You was at work. Is there a reason that okay, so are you working now, or are you just taking off or anything like that, like for a certain amount of time?
So is this to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you asking me that, or is one of your people?
No, I'm asking you that. I just wondered.
Okay.
Like, if you, I was just wondering, like, if you, like, are you, in fact, I'll turn my chat off for just a minute so I don't get preoccupied.
Don't turn your chat off. Leave it on. It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, that way you can get all these questions coming in, because like I said, I told you, I gave you my word. I'd come on your show. I would answer questions. People ask the questions, but keep in mind, like I told y'all from the very beginning, I'm brash, I'm direct, but I'm
What's all that slapping noise? What's all the slapping noise? Yeah, she definitely is the American Vicki Marie chat. So she's about as good as me with technology. I mean, I am quite good with technology, which she must be to do what she's doing as well. But we have our little glitches here and there. But that's how you know it's real, isn't it? That's how you know it's real. People quite like that sometimes. I think they like the naturalness of it, and they like the fact that people make little cock-ups here and there, and it makes them human, doesn't it?
respectful, and I ask for the same in everybody else.
Yeah, and I told them a while ago, just please be respectful, because I wasn't expecting this. Like, please be respectful, y'all, because
So one thing right now, I'm gonna tell you right now, really irks me with some of these folks that want to follow these YouTube, and I'm very honest about this. Somebody says I won't talk to men. Not that I don't want to talk. Right. It's not that I don't want to talk to men. I have talked to more law enforcement men agencies in the past 24 days than I've probably ever talked to in my entire life.
Oh my God, this is a different Chris, isn't it? This is a different Chris than what we've been seeing on the other interviews. He is getting a little bit angry here. This is why maybe it's late at night, maybe he's had a drink. That's what I think happens with Seth sometimes when he's tired and he's had a drink and his medication kicks in. And that's why I've been saying for ages he should stay off the social media at that time, because he doesn't come over well. We're all like, you can't go on social media and think that it's just you and that person talking. At the end of the day, there are lots of other people listening and watching, and you've got to be aware of that. So you're not just chatting to your mate, even though it might feel like you're chatting to your mate in the living room. You're not just chatting to your mate in the living room or down the pub or whatever. You're on a social media channel. This is a smaller channel, but like some of those that Seth has been going on, like Pascal and what's the other one that he went on? He went on another one that was, they've got loads of viewers. Do you know what I mean? They're like, so you've got to be careful going on them and the way you come over. So he's getting quite angry now. That's definitely a different Chris to the Chris that we saw in the other interviews, isn't it? And of course, now he's said that, I wouldn't have realised it, but it's true. He does only he does only go on women's channels. Why hasn't he been on Pascal? He hasn't been on Pascal, has he? Why not? And in fact, all of them, to be honest, when they go on channels, what I find is the channels sometimes are just trying to keep them talking, because it does obviously help their views and stuff like that. But they're not asking them sometimes, maybe that they don't want to offend. So it must be very difficult, because I've seen it with Pascal, with Seth. Doesn't obviously want to hurt Seth or upset him because his son's gone missing. But sometimes I think then he's a bit worried about asking him maybe the questions that he should ask him, but because, Seth has volunteered to go on there. Chris and Katie, they're on here voluntarily. She hasn't made them go on there. They've made the choice to go on there. So when he's talking like that, it reminds me a bit of Don Wells, because I've seen him on a few YouTube channels that he's rang up when he's been drunk and, you know, got into arguments with people. I watched one with Don Wells where he was really, really slagging off the woman that he was talking to, you know, really nasty things he was saying. And when you see them talking like that, you can quite imagine them doing something wrong to a child. And I'm not saying that Don Wells has done something to Summer Wells. I don't know what's happened there either. But, you know, I don't think they do themselves any favours when they go on YouTube channels and start getting aggressive like this. This poor woman, she doesn't know what to do or say. She's probably part of her will be thinking, oh my God, you know, I'm glad he's on there, because it, you know, as you were saying, Simon, about, you know, sometimes I think it's very difficult with true crime because, you know, we don't even know if a crime's been committed here yet, but it's very difficult because you're treading a very fine line, because you are bringing things to the public's attention. You are giving people something interesting to watch, you know, information that they want and they enjoy. But, you know, you've got to be respectful with it. You've got to be, you know, it's a fine line between sort of taking advantage of people and, you know, genuinely trying to help. You know, you're treading a very fine line. Anyway, they've volunteered to come on here. So, you know, this woman, she's, you know, she's not going to say, oh, no, you can't come on here, is she?
Same thing goes for women. So, no, I don't have a problem talking to a man or talking to a woman. I appreciate everybody's assumptions or concerns, innuendos, whatever they want to be. But at the same time, I vet who I talk to. I'm not just going to open up and talk to anybody. And I will put this out there. JLR, everybody wants me to talk to this guy. Explain to me, Smiley, you probably have a better understanding of this. Explain to me why I should talk to JLR.
I just really wish you would, because he does go out everywhere, and he wants the truth. I mean, and he may not get the truth out of you, but I have seen him literally go in places deep, like scary places, and like really just try to get the truth and try to like follow people that's just taking him in the woods or whatever, show him places, whatever, that he didn't know from Adam. He goes from one place to another. He may be on a plane to Mexico. Next time he might be in California, whatever. And, you know, I mean, he's grown a lot. I just think a lot of people don't give him a chance. That's just my honest opinion.
Right. Do you know why people don't want to give this man a chance?
Well, go ahead and tell me. I mean, I want your opinion.
So I'm going to tell you my personal opinion.
Okay.
Okay, this is my personal opinion. This is nobody else's, not my wife's, not anybody else's. My personal opinion.
Okay.
So I did my due diligence, and I read up on Jonathan Lee Rich. Excuse me. I've read up on him. Not necessarily the best character in the world. When you start reading, and the first thing comes up, everything that you can find on this individual. Now, I don't know him, Adam from Eve. I really don't. He don't know me, Adam from Eve. But when he opens his mouth and goes out there and starts spreading lies, and yes, lies, because unless you got hardcore evidence that I'm an abusive husband, abusive father, I've got a restraining order against me, unless you got proof, don't open your mouth, because it's real simple. I don't have any of that. Good luck finding it. I've never lied to y'all. I've been open and honest. People don't like my answers, so people want to come back with their own assumptions. And I'm so sorry that I can't.
No, gosh, how dare he slag JLR off? I mean, you know, we love JLR, don't we, on this channel? You know, JLR has got a past, but he's quite open about his past, isn't he? I don't think he hides it from anybody. But I agree with him up to a point, because JLR has been very down on the Proudfoots. He really has. But I think, now I wonder what he thinks now. Well, I know what he thinks, because he got a little bit annoyed, didn't he, about Seth now joining with the Proudfoots, because JLR was definitely Team Seth. I don't know what decided him to be like that, but he was definitely Team Seth, and he has said a lot of bad things about the Proudfoots, and so he's bound to be angry, I suppose. But JLR is good at going and interviewing people, and he does ask tough questions. That's what he will never go on JLR, never ever. I'm surprised he's not been on Pascal, though, because I don't think Pascal asks tough questions. I don't think he asks tough questions. I think he would be on there, and he would just talk to him normally. Who's the other person that Seth was on? There was another one, but it's got slipped my mind. But yeah, interesting, isn't it? He's got a real bee in his bonnet about JLR, that's for sure.
Open up and give you every little piece of evidence and every little detail that we know. I am terribly sorry. It sucks, because when it does and it can come out, my only question to everybody else is, when are you going to start issuing public apologies? That's not to you. That is to everybody that wants to come out and badmouth people that don't understand and don't have a clue what's going on. And I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, I can understand that.
He seems quite convinced that he's going to be exonerated, doesn't he? I mean, he's saying like, oh, when it can come out, when things can come out. Who knows? People might be owing him an apology one day, but only time will tell that. But at the end of the day, what really matters is, where is Sebastian? Where is Sebastian? Where is that boy?
But let me ask you this:
Yes,
if somebody has over 100,000 people, why do you care what their past is or what they say if they can help you get Sebastian's name out?
So when you and I'll be honest with you, I've heard some of yours, and the toxicity that comes out of what you guys projected about me has only toxified everybody else that puts in a lead or says, well, check out the stepfather, do this, do that, call law enforcement, check this out, do this. You take a body, every time something gets reported, a body comes away from the investigation to vet, because they are required to do so. And it sucks, because the same answers are the same across the board. Why they won't come out and tell in the public eye, hey, all three parents have been completely vetted. All three parents have been, questioned. All of this. Why they won't come out and say it? I understand to a point. I do. But it sucks at the same time, because it's extremely hurtful that me, my wife, and Seth have to live in this life, even when this is over. However it ends, we have to live this life, not everybody else.
Quite frankly, Sebastian's going to find out what everybody's been saying about his parents, and I can't even imagine how distraught he's going to be, but we have to find him.
I mean, and it sucks.
Yeah, you have to find him, and that's the most important thing.
Yes.
The rest is going to fall into place later, but the most important thing is he has to be found, and he has to be found regardless, period.
I want to just side note, he's not clapping, y'all.
He's not what?
People keep saying that he's clapping. He's not clapping. That's just background noise.
Oh, I don't hear any. Yeah, y'all.
Some people have heard they're clapping, and that's fine. I'm currently working.
Yeah, y'all.
Now, where understand, people, where I work is really nobody's business. And I would hope you would respect that, because I'm not this criminal. I'm not this monster
that everybody wants to believe. But I do believe in privacy and respect, and it goes both ways.
Yeah, I don't feel anybody should be going to anybody's job or anything like that. No, I don't feel anything like that. But as far as JLR, I mean, that's up to you who you speak with or anything like that. I do appreciate you holding up to your bargain, speaking to me. Some of the harder questions, it has
Awesome.
nothing to do with you, but I'm just saying, as far as all of that has nothing to do with you. It's just a matter of how I put it to every case that I care about. And there's no reason to be angry about it. It's just something, whether it's me, you, or whoever, and that happens to. Look, I had a grandson that went missing for a couple of hours here not very long ago, back last year, and I know how that feels. And we can sit and say this happened, this happened, and this one don't know, and whatever. But I'm very passionate about these. I've been through a lot of tragedies that a lot of these people.
Anyway, I've got to move on because I've got other interviews to show you. And this is 3 hours long and I just looked. But yeah, go on to Smiley's channel. If you've not heard this interview, they're on there a long time, hours. So, I just we haven't got time, or I haven't got time to listen to that whole video with you because I've got lots of other videos to show you. So that's Smiley. But look, fancy them ring. I bet Smiley thought, God, I think if I was doing a live and then suddenly Chris Proudfoot came on, it'd be like, oh my God, you'd just panic, wouldn't you, like mad? Not because I'm ashamed of talking to. I've never said anything bad against him or Katie. I don't know what happened, but you would get into a little bit of a panic, wouldn't you? Because anyway, she did really well. And yeah, go on and watch the whole video. So we're going to look at another one now. And this is one which you may not have seen. You may have seen or you may not have seen. This one, it was on Facebook. Let's see. Not that one. This one. Now, this is the one. I don't know if anybody's seen this one, but this is the one where they did not want to have their faces shown. So this is, again, it is a woman interviewing him. Maybe he does only like being interviewed by women. And they didn't want to show their faces because they were too emotional. I don't know if you've seen this one. This is with Fox 17 Nashville, Caitlin Miller. Let's have a look. It's a bit shorter, this one. Thing is, those YouTube live streams, they go on for hours, so we can't sit and listen to all of it.
Udfoot.
Chris, Chris, last name's Proudfoot, Proudfoot.
So, I mean, first, just as parents, tell me what the last now over a week has been like for you two.
Horrible beyond words. This was an experience that I would have never dreamed would come. Honestly, I can't put words to how hard this has been and how much it hurts not knowing where my son is, where he's at, if he's okay. Just horrible is the best thing I can say.
What about for you?
It's rough. I mean, we are on day 11, no answers. And the horrible thing.
Day 11, this was. So, and I'd never seen this. Somebody sent me this one. They know who they are. They're out there. And thank you for that because, yeah, I've never, ever seen this interview. So day 11, the hand interview.
Things that people say just keep rolling in, regardless of taking time to consider the facts and, assumptions is what they're going off of. But, for us, it's We sit here and we wait, and hopefully we'll get an answer, or hopefully he walks through our door, which would be amazing.
I was going to say, how badly do you both want Sebastian to just walk through that front door to get that call?
I'd give anything. In a heartbeat, I would give anything.
It's not measurable. Let's put it that way. There's no measurable. Anybody says, oh, it is. You've never sat in these shoes. You've never been in this situation. And I don't ever wish for people to be in this situation.
And what's Sebastian like? What's his personality like? What does he love to do?
He, for the most part, is happy. He likes to laugh and joke and tell you all about everything and then some. He loves games. He loves video games. He loves to play with his Legos. Even building things with me. We build little projects here and there, but
It's quite odd, this, isn't it, with the hands? Wouldn't it have been better maybe blurring out their faces or, talking off camera or something? This just looks quite odd, doesn't it?
he's
It reminds me of Thing off the Addams Family, It's like really a bit surreal.
he's always a character.
Are there any weird tendencies that he has that might be able to help people find him in this search?
I don't know how helpful to finding him, but he fidgets constantly. He loves shiny pennies, paper clips. He's always whenever we go to the grocery store, he always looks on the ground and looks under the register counter, and he's always looking for shiny pennies everywhere. Paper clips. He loves to bend them out of shape and play with them, fidget with them. He loves playgrounds. We've said it before, he likes fishing and things like that, but
Cats. Boy loves cats.
He does. He loves cats. It's his favorite animal. I don't know. He's a good kid.
There are no leads, nothing caught on video. Your son has been missing for 11 days now. How does that make you feel as parents?
I don't have words to describe how I'm feeling right now. Every day is harder than the last. We're out, we're looking, we're trying to make sure that everyone stays looking and doesn't let his face fall to the bottom of a feed or get covered by some other nonsense. We just want our boy home.
When you walked in Monday morning and didn't see Sebastian in his room, what was your gut reaction?
My very first reaction was, oh, he got up and got breakfast. But when I realized he actually wasn't in the house, I've never experienced sheer panic in the way that I did. And basically for every minute since that, not knowing where your child is a pain that I've never known pain like this before.
And walk me through the events that happened, from Sunday leading up to Monday when you didn't see him that morning.
Sunday, we were out and about. We had a really good day. We were out doing our thing, running around. We had dinner that evening, and when we came home, we had a pretty good evening together as well. He was playing right up until bedtime, and then some. I let him stay up a little late. And when I told him to go to bed, he's like, "I love you, Mom. I love you, puppies." And he went to bed. And I went to bed around midnight. Everything seemed fine. And when I went to wake him up for school, that's when I couldn't find him. He wasn't in his room, and he wasn't in the house. And that's when I panicked.
And when you panicked, what did you do?
First thing I did was call my husband, and I said, "He's not here." My husband said, "What do you mean he's not here?" I said, "He's not in the house." And he said, immediately just started, "Did you check here? Did you check there? Did you look here?" And I ran through the house, and at that point I was hysterical, for lack of a word. And we three-wayed the police, and I'm within minutes they were here. I couldn't tell you exactly how long. I know it was fast. And we haven't found him.
When I got the phone call that he was missing, like she said, we asked questions like, "Where's he at? Check this, check that." And then we called the sheriff's department. I called the sheriff's department. I stayed on the phone pretty much most of the time. And then while I was at work, I asked for a relief, got a relief, got in my truck from Memphis, and made my way to Nashville.
And that was, I guess, Monday?
The morning that he was missing, yes.
Okay. And so what was your reaction when you got that call from your wife that Sebastian was missing?
Initially, I was like, "Oh, he's goofing around again. Here we go. He's like hiding." And then when we talked about the places to check and he's not there, I was like, "Okay, stop." Instantly. Call the police. Instantly. I'm a black and white kind of guy. And
to your knowledge, he didn't take shoes with him, right? He locked the door on his way out. Or I guess, what are some of the things that you think he did as he left?
We checked for all of his shoes, and none of them are missing. The door was locked.
And was there some discrepancy as to what he was wearing when he went to bed, or what was he last seen wearing? What was he wearing to bed that night?
When he went to bed, he was wearing black sweatpants with white stripes down the side. And he had on a black long sleeve black shirt with a print on the front. I'm pretty sure it was one of his
like Star Wars or Halloween or
even Minecraft.
Yeah,
those are the three main things.
That's the three things that majority is on his clothes.
Yeah.
Boy, he has his flavors.
And obviously you guys are going.
He likes to have a little laugh, doesn't he, Chris, about Sebastian and his what he does and what he wears, etc. Every now and again, you get a little laugh.
Going through the unimaginable, and then getting a lot of like the kickback that you've seen on social media. I mean, how much worse has that made it for you two to go through something like this?
Honestly, we stopped looking at it. There's a lot of terrible people in this world, and I don't want to waste energy on any of that. I want the focus on finding our son. The facts are the facts. I mean, the police know the facts, and all I ask of anyone is, if they're able and willing, is to help find him, help spread his flyer, help look for him, call in if you know anything or see anything. But we just ask that people focus on finding Sebastian.
And he's never done anything like that before, right? Just kind of walked out of the house.
He's not a runner. This is not normal for him to run away. He's not a runner.
And any places, I guess, I know you guys have been told to stay in the house, right? Just in case he comes home.
We are doing what we've been asked to do by the law enforcement agencies and everybody involved. I am not going to divulge anything more than that.
Yeah. But what I'm trying to ask, I guess, next is if you were to go out and search right now, if people want to help search, what types of places would you guys look at that he could maybe be at?
Anywhere and everywhere. At this point,
It's been 11 days. He could be anywhere.
Yeah. They've searched the woods. They've searched parks. They've searched creeks. They've searched, at this point, anything and everything.
Anywhere that he could be staying out of the weather or getting food or, I mean, honestly, at this point, he could genuinely be anywhere.
How hopeful are you two that he will come home?
I will never give up hope on finding my child.
Optimism is at its highest, regardless.
Our son is out there. We're going to find him.
And now publicly, like obviously police are now investigating a landfill. People are speaking out about that. What are your thoughts about that?
Everybody has an opinion and their assumptions, and they are entitled to those. But as I've stated before, all we've asked people to do is to look at the facts, not what everybody's putting out there. If they have questions, call the law enforcement agencies, and they'll give you whatever they can give you. But the assumptions are just that. They are an assumption, your opinions. We pray for everybody. Hopefully this never happens to you. And if it ever does, then you'll understand. But I pray it doesn't.
And they're doing their job. They're looking everywhere they can their goal is the same. We just want to find him.
If you could say something to Sebastian, if he's listening right now, what would you say to him?
I would say that we love you and we miss you and we want you to come home. And just know that we all care about you so much.
You're not in trouble. That door's unlocked and waiting for you to come home. Your puppies miss you. Your family misses you. I miss you. Just come home.
Anything else that you two want to add or clear up or anything like that? Okay.
Just help us find our son.
Well, so there you go. The hand interview. They're all quite different, the interviews. That's something I've noticed. They are actually quite different. Anyway, we're going to change tack a little bit now. Don't worry, there's only a couple of interviews left now, but these are going to be Seth. These are some interviews that you may not have seen with Seth from earlier on, from Facebook, from that lady's Facebook. That reporter from the news there, she's done quite a lot of interviews with Seth as well. So that's what we're going to listen to now. So there may well be interviews that you've not heard before. I think, you know what, I know I'm probably just being hopeful, but I think maybe Sebastian is alive somewhere. You know, I just got this feeling, but maybe I just want that to be the case. So let's listen to this interview. This is just audio. I love this picture of Seth and Sebastian. You know, they just look so happy there, don't they? And they look so alike. It is a lovely picture. So this is that Caitlin Miller, and this is an interview that she had with Seth. Oops.
Tell me a little bit about your son.
He's got a big heart.
This was the 5th of March. So again, quite a long time ago.
Loving.
Oh,
You know, he's inquisitive.
Oh no, I think I have shared it. Yeah.
He can be stubborn at times. He loves to play video games. He loves animals. I mean, he thoroughly loves animals. He likes plants. He likes to, you know, grow things. He likes to take care of things. He loves his video games. Boy, the kid loves his video games.
What has the last week been like for you as a father?
My heart is missing somewhere out here, and I'm just trying to find him. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. I can't find him.
And when was the last time you got to see Sebastian?
Last time he was at my house. So I was supposed to have him last weekend, and it would have been 2 weekends prior. He was at my house, and I got to see him. We got to play video games, watch TV. Had a great weekend.
And I mean, obviously, it seems like, what has it been like working with law enforcement? Have they been great, you know, trying to help you with this search?
They're definitely doing everything that they can to find my son, and I thoroughly appreciate it. And I hope that they find him every day. I'm waking up hoping that they find him.
And obviously, so he's autistic. Are there any like tendencies that he may have? Like, does he like hanging out like in the trees or by water that could maybe help people find him?
He does like creeks. I mean, he loves to go fishing with me. But if he's in the city limits, he's, you know, video games. He'd probably be, you know, maybe an arcade or something.
Okay. And has he ever done something like this before? Just leave the house for a short period of time or anything like that?
No.
And I mean, how much sleep have you lost over this last week? Walk me through kind of what that experience has been.
I haven't had very much sleep at all. I mean, coffee and energy drinks is my main diet has been.
Yeah. And I know you said you were out there searching. Are there any particular places that you're looking that you think he might be at?
I'm looking everywhere. I'm not from this area, so I don't know it. So I'm just everywhere. I keep telling people, keep your head up and your eyes open. If you see him, call 911. If my son hears my voice, buddy, you need to get to a phone and call 911.
Definitely. And you live in Clarksville, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you've been out here in the Hendersonville area just searching for him the last week?
Every day.
And I guess, are you in close contact with his mother and stepfather about the situation?
Not really. I mean, we're in communication at least once a day, but that's about it.
Okay.
I'm looking for him,
Yeah. And I know, like, obviously with social media, it's tough because as a parent, you just want your kid home. But there's been a lot of like speculation too about possible like criminal investigations. I mean, what's kind of your reaction to all of that chatter on social media?
I don't have social media, man.
Okay. But just hearing people kind of speculate about that in the community, I guess, how does that make you feel?
I think they need to, instead of being keep.
Seth keeps saying he hasn't got social media, but I suppose he means Facebook, Twitter, or whatever. But he's always on YouTube, so he says he hasn't got social media, but that's not actually quite true. But anyway.
Keyboard warriors, they need to put feet on the ground and start looking for my son. If they really want to help, that's what they should be doing instead of coming up with their own opinion. How about get out there and we find my son?
And how much does your son Sebastian mean to you?
He is my life.
Do you have any other kids?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And I guess, is there, anything you want to say? I don't know how well you know the stepfather or the mother, but is there anything you'd like to say about that and that situation and how he just kind of disappeared from the house?
I have nothing to say about that.
Okay. And if you could say something to Sebastian right now, what would you say?
If you are hearing this, son, you need to tell people who you are and tell them to call 911 for you. You need to tell people that you are Sebastian Rogers and that you need them to call 911.
And anything you'd like to tell him about returning home?
I miss you, buddy.
Oh.
And I'm waiting. I want to hear from you.
Well, you know, that is genuine emotion there in his voice. You can hear that. You can feel that that is genuine emotion.
Okay.
All right.
Call 911 so we can find you, man. Come on, son.
So that was one interview with Seth, but she's done another couple of more recent ones with him. So that was a little while ago. And let's just have a look. So this is we'll look at the oldest one first. I should be still sharing this.
Nobody can make me give up.
And where have you been searching? Where do you think he is?
I've been searching everywhere. I mean, anything out of that 5 mile radius that the initial search did, they covered everything there. But there's stuff elsewhere. I mean, we got a lot of territory to cover. And it being over a month, he could be anywhere currently. So I'm searching everywhere.
You, Katie, and Chris had a meeting with TBI today. Did you find out any new information?
Not that I can discuss.
Any progression that might show hope in this search?
Oh, I always have hope. Can't take that away from me.
And how confident are you that Sebastian is alive, and what do you think he's doing right now?
Pretty sure he's probably playing video games somewhere. Nobody's letting him, whoever's got him, they're not letting him see the regular news. They're not letting him surf the internet. Or else he'd know that I'm looking.
Let's hope he is somewhere playing video games. Somebody's keeping him safe. Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
For him. And he'd know that he should actually be trying to get a hold of me. And that keeps me going.
Is there a strong reason to believe he may have been abducted?
I don't know if he's been abducted or if he's just, over at a friend's house. Never know. But I'll know.
Well, he's not over at a friend's house, is he, all this time? But it's interesting. Someone just said in chat, and it's true. Yeah, Nancy Grace, where are the polygraph results? Why is that? That's funny, isn't it? Supposedly he's taken he admitted he's taken a polygraph with Nancy Grace. His mum said he failed it. JLR says he's heard that he failed it, or that it's inconclusive because he kept falling asleep all the way through it. That does seem strange to me, because he's never fell asleep through any of the many long YouTube interviews he's done. So it surprises me that they say he's fallen asleep in his polygraph test. But Nancy Grace, so far, is keeping completely stum about it. She's not coming out with it. She's not saying anything about it. So, whether she's saving it up for a big video, or if she just maybe doesn't want to release it, maybe she's been told by the police not to release it. You just don't know what's going on in the background, do you? But it does all seem strange. I'd like to see Nancy Gray's report on that polygraph test.
But when I find him, I'll know exactly what has happened to him.
And other news outlets were reporting that there were lights seen in the backyard that were caught on camera by a neighbor's video. Is that true?
No. What that was a trash truck. Went through, picked up trash, and when it left, of course, it went faster. It didn't have to stop to pick up trash.
Yeah, so he's saying no, that was a trash truck. It went, picked up the trash. You know, it makes you wonder about that other theory that somebody came up with about, you know, I can't see that if a trash truck knocked over someone that they would pick him up and throw him in the trash. I don't, maybe I'm naive, but who would do that? You know, who would do that? You couldn't do that, but you'd knock over a 15-year-old boy and then you'd pick him up and throw him in the back of the trash truck. I just can't see that happening. You know, I could be proved wrong because I know strange things happen, but I'd like to know what the reason was the police searched the trash site, but I can't see it being that, unless they just searched it just in case, because they know that the trash, you know, at the end of the day, they know the trash truck was there that morning. So maybe they just searched it as part of that investigation. But gosh, I mean, everywhere you look in this case, there's something, you know, that can't explain. I find Seth's behaviour strange, but I do think at night when he gets, you know, I think he has a few drinks. I don't think it's all medication. It's probably a combination. And don't get wrong, I'm not blaming him for having a few drinks. I'd have a few drinks as well, you know, in this, after a long day of searching, that you get home and you know, you just want to turn off, relax. Of course you'd have a drink, but if he is on medication as well, that won't be good for him, you know. But he never falls asleep on the YouTube things, you know. There's a real pathos about Seth, I think. You know, I do feel like, you know, he's genuinely missing Sebastian. But then I did feel that about Katie as well. But I feel like Katie's holding something back. But you know what? We don't know what they've probably got to hold things back because the police have told them to.
That's just false information provided by a particular person.
Did the dogs ever pick up a scent for Sebastian?
From my information that I've been given, no.
Did they find anything on Sebastian's cell phone that would, you know, kind of show that he was going to run away or where he might be?
Not that I know of. He didn't have any internet access or anything on there. He would have been able to call, text, take a picture, send a picture, use the calculator. That's about it.
Was Sebastian in school on Friday, the day before he went missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you, Chris, or Katie, or any of you suspects in this case?
No, we're not.
Have you been cleared?
I don't know if the investigation is still ongoing. We wouldn't be cleared until the investigation's done.
Yeah, so he's saying the opposite to what. So Chris Proudfoot said yes, they were cleared, but obviously they're not cleared because the investigate, you know, nobody, until it's found out what happened to Sebastian, they won't be cleared in that sense. But he's saying they're not suspects, none of them.
But currently, from my understanding, they don't have any information that would attach us to any wrongdoing.
CPS has gone to Katie's house before. You didn't know about that until this investigation. How does that make you feel?
That somebody somewhere dropped the ball because I was never informed. And I'm the biological father. I have joint legal, joint physical custody. Somebody dropped the ball and didn't reach out and inform the father, which is me. And I don't understand why the state dropped the ball on that one.
And how did you find out about CPS?
Podcast.
Gosh, I mean, imagine that. So that's how he found out about the CPS charges against, or claims against Chris, about the hitting him with Sebastian with a belt, which is ridiculous. I mean, people used to do it. They used to do it. It was common, wasn't it? It was common. We're living in a different age now. People just don't do that. Not even smacking now, is it? That nobody's allowed to do. So certainly to hit someone with a belt just in this day and age just does seem pretty ridiculous. And then to find out about it on a podcast, finding out that your child's step parent has done that, that would be like not very nice, would it?
And I mean, does that concern you, especially with this case, that they might have done something to cause him to run away?
I don't know what that really means, but I just know that I don't have all the information.
Is there an official timeline? And I know people, there was, we went to bed at this hour, but does TBI or anyone have an official timeline as to the series?
I'm pretty sure they do, but I'm not involved in the investigation, so I wouldn't have it.
Have the three of you been in contact every day like you were several weeks ago about this?
I was in contact with both Katie and Chris today, but I've heard he said his phone is open and available. So is mine. You can leave a voicemail. Like 7 or 8 people have already left me voicemails today. I'm going. I get people calling me while I'm on the phone, and it's like, I can't just sit there and answer the phone for everybody. If I did that, I probably wouldn't be able to get out of my house.
There's been a lot of criticism over this investigation.
See, the other thing is Katie and Chris, they've got each other, haven't they? They have got each other. Whereas when Seth gets home at the end of the day, I mean, he's probably living on his adrenaline all day, all this, searching for Sebastian, feeling like he's at least doing something, to help find Sebastian, and that must keep him going. And then, of course, when he gets home to an empty house, he's got nobody, to talk to. Katie and Chris that have got each other at least. He hasn't got anybody there, but that's when he needs looking after Seth, I think he does, because that's when he does the silly things like ringing the YouTube and everything.
Investigation. I'm sure you've received criticism as well as the Proudfoots. How does that make you feel in a time where you're just trying to find your son?
People are being, that goes back to those keyboard warriors I talked about on the first interview that you and I had. They're still at it. They'll never stop. There's cowards in this world, and then there's people who are go-getters. My feet, they're on the ground. They're never going to leave the ground. I'm going to find my son. Period.
And plans, today on moving forward, any more resources being used on this investigation, or anything you have to say about that?
The United Cajun Navy is currently sitting down there right now at 90 Volunteer Drive in Hendersonville.
Now, that was another strange thing, wasn't it? The Cajun Navy is talking about, well, that all went wrong, didn't it? And they withdrew from the search, and we don't really know the ins and outs of what happened there. I think JLR was very sniffy about the Cajun Navy, wasn't he? He's like, I think there was a bit of an ego battle there went on between the Cajun Navy and JLR, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't think we know the full story of why they withdrew. The Uvalde Children's Foundation, they've withdrawn. There's a lot of very strange things going on here, I think. A lot of very strange things.
10:30. That's when volunteers need to show up. 10:30. Show up, have your ID, sign the paperwork, and they send people out in teams. When you show up, there ain't nobody there except for a couple people. That's because they've already sent teams out. They're just going to keep sending teams out until we find my son.
Have there been a lot of volunteers coming out to help find Sebastian?
Today there was, and I want to thank everybody who did come out. We're seeing an increase, and we're going to continue to see an increase. I'd like the whole state of Tennessee to volunteer, and then we'll hit other states.
And you're Sebastian's father. Tell me, what is Sebastian like?
He's a unique child. All right. It's really hard to describe my son. I mean, besides being unique, whether he's up to no good.
I think that's a funny thing to say. It's hard to describe my son. How is it hard to describe his son? But yeah, Chumba, remember the mother, his mum did talk about Sebastian in the past tense at the video.
Or he's up too good. He's just got that uniqueness about him. It's really hard to describe. I mean, he's my mini me. If he has a goal, he's going to accomplish that goal. You know, people at school, they liked him. All the kids are wanting to know when he's going to come back. They want to help and volunteer. Teachers they're putting out prayers every day. You know, everybody, it's coming up. It's Easter. I'm hoping for an Easter miracle. You know, I could definitely use it in my life right now.
An Easter miracle, I could definitely use it in my life. Well, we didn't have an Easter miracle, unfortunately, as far as Sebastian was concerned, did we? We unfortunately didn't. Just 56, is it 56 days now or 57? I mean, it's a long 2 months. It's a long, long time, isn't it?
And why did they search the landfill?
I have no idea. They didn't. Not part of the investigation. They're not going to tell me stuff. I am emotionally attached, as any parent should be.
And how often do you meet with TBI?
If I call them all the time. Call, text, hey, any new news? They either let me know or they let me know.
Yeah, he said on one interview, didn't he, that on one YouTube interview that the TBI were hardly speaking to him. But maybe they've just got nothing to say, eh?
Are you happy with the work that all these agencies have done, or do you think there needs to be more?
There could probably always be more. We just got to figure out what more is necessary. Am I happy with them? I'm not unhappy. But you asked me that after my son's back, and it's going to be, I'm happy. All right? Because in law enforcement, it's always goal oriented, you know? Go to work, put a smile on your face, get the job done. I know that they're putting their effort, 150% effort into this. And I appreciate that. And I'm hoping it will pay off with fruition.
Do you think Katie and Chris are suspects?
I have no idea.
Sebastian's been missing for more than a month now. What keeps you getting up every morning, going out and searching for him?
Being a dad, having perseverance, wanting him to come home, wanting to watch him finish growing up.
Do you wear this every day? Talk to me about this shirt.
This right here is my own billboard to find my son. People notice people. People notice what people are wearing. So I am a walking handout. I have these in my car.
How'd you select that photo? It's so cute.
Because it's cute. It's got a smile. It's the last picture I took of him.
The last picture I took of him. Okay, I think that might be all I've got. Wasn't much, was it? Not many videos, not much. Or is there another one? That was the 29th of March. Don't think she's interviewed him since then, unless there's something further up here. No. So I think that is it for what I had prepared to show you. So yeah, I mean, those videos, those long videos, those long live streams, go back and watch them, those YouTubers, if you like. And, you know, you might, they may be, I haven't sat and listened to all of them myself yet. I need to listen to the whole thing maybe something relevant in there. Yeah, David, what is it? How long have I been on for? Long time. Nearly. I've done 3 hours before. I have done 3 hours before. I can't believe I've managed 3 hours nearly. Well, it's 2 hours 44. I can't believe it because I'm not very well either. But anyway, so we're no further on. I mean, this is just for our own information, watching these videos, etc. We don't know anymore, really. Who knows what will come out every day? Something else might come out. I just wanted to just say, I don't know if Misty's still there or she might have gone to bed now. But I want to say thank you again to Misty, who gifted 5 memberships, which should mean I can put an extra emoji on my, at least an extra emoji on the members emojis. And of course, what day are we today? We're Tuesday, so Thursday is members only live. So those people that receive their gifted memberships, they'll be able to join in the members live this Thursday if they're around. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. No, but who knows what news we might have before then, hey? We may have some news. We have to hope and pray, say our prayers. We pray that Sebastian will be found safe and well. I think the best case scenario is that somebody does have him somewhere, but not hurting him, like maybe somebody he knows even. That's what we've just got to hope for. Okay, so night. And you don't know if Heather's still there. She normally says, don't let the bed bugs bite. But remember to live and love wisely and carefully. And I'll see you real soon in the next video. And as always, till then, may your God go with you. Night.